Everything in your life is going so well, but you have that looming weight and cloud over you about your financial situation, whether it's debt or you're not making as much as you want to, or you're just not in the situation that you desire. Well, this year we're going to change that, because I think that there's nothing more empowering and fulfilling than gaining control of your finances and understanding how much you have, how much you're earning, and what your trajectory is to reach your goals. Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Day right now, and I am drinking a hot chocolate with coffee in it, which didn't turn out exactly how I planned, but it's not bad. I put marshmallows to try to make it better and some whipped cream. I think I used an espresso pod that was not. I'm babysitting this little puppy, and he is Poppy. Come here. Anyways, didn't turn out exactly how I planned, but it's still good and it's a little festive since I'm by myself on Christmas Day, but I'm going to hang out with family in a little bit, so don't get all emotional on me yet. I wanted to make this video about financially blowing up right now towards the end of the year, because I recently posted, actually 2 days ago, I posted a video on 5 practices to start in 2024 to blow up and level up. Things that personally changed my life, but I really think the financial aspect is so crucial, if not the most important thing, to be able to live the life that you dream of, to feel empowered and confident, to be able to travel and take risks in business and your personal life. You need to be in a good spot financially. And for me, this came kind of effortlessly just because I started working at a very young age. I was honestly 9 when I got my first job, but 12 when I got my first real job, and I haven't stopped working since. I was always very good about saving and understanding the worth of a dollar. I think that's because of the way that I was brought up. I'm Indian, and I also had a lot of financial struggles and also exposure to very nice things. My childhood had a weird juxtaposition of poverty and extreme luxury, so I was able to see both sides, and I knew what I wanted, and I also knew what it took to get there. So investing has always been something I was interested in, saving and also working. I love to work and know what I am creating and finding different ways to make money, being creative with it, because there's so many different ways to create different income streams, and I'll talk about that later on in the video, but I do have a little structure that I'm gonna follow, so that way you can use this video and return to it, and honestly use it as a guide throughout your financial journey, because I have some resources that I'll link below. I also have all these resources in my course, so make sure you make use of everything, and if you have any questions, leave them below. But let's get right into it. First, you're gonna need to create a personal financial sheet. You can do this on Excel. I will leave a template in the description for you to download and copy if you want. But with this, you will be able to clearly see what you have. How many things do you have? How much money do you have? Assets? What do they amount to? But also, what liabilities do you have? Are you in debt? What is costing you money right now? To really gauge your liabilities against your assets, because this is the starting point. If you don't know how much you have, and I think a lot of people out there kind of turn a blind eye to this number because we're avoidant of it. I sometimes can be avoidant of it, I'm not gonna lie, but I think it's crucial to really be upfront and face it, because without knowing this, you won't know how to set your goals and where to go. I think money is energy, and when you are so focused on a specific number of a goal that you want to reach, it is hard to attain it because you are in a scarcity mindset. To be in abundance, you have to know and believe that money is going to flow into your life. And I know this sounds a little woo-woo, but I truly think it's so important to energetically be open to money, and also to build a strong foundation to get there. So many times we hear of these people who win the lottery and they lose it in the next day because they don't really know the value of it, and they didn't build that strong foundation to attain that money. But if you see people who have worked for years and decades and then they're like, oh, they got lucky or they had their big break. No, there's so much under the iceberg that we don't see. And I think that's the best way to gain success, is to really work at something and hone in on it. If you're not in the spot that you want to be at, know that it's going to take work and time, but you are starting now. If you haven't already started by watching this video, you are taking a step in the right direction. So make sure you are gentle with yourself, but also not hyper-focused on an exact number, but also have a goal in mind. So once you have your personal financial sheet, set a goal of how much money you would like to have a year from now. Now is the perfect time to do this because it is the end of 2023, if not the beginning of 2024. How much do you want to have in a year? How much are you earning? What is your income? What is your revenue? But what are your expenses? And I think getting clear on what all of your monthly expenses are is important. So it's not important to know exactly how much money you have down to the dollar, but it is important to know how much you are spending, because it's very easy for us to increase our quality of life or our lifestyle as we earn more money, and then you're never getting anywhere because you're just trying to keep up with the right and left side. So I think what's really great is if you can increase your income but stay at the lifestyle that you're at for not as long as possible, but for quite a while, maybe a year or two. So that way all that surplus that you are earning, you can invest it, you can pay off your debt, you can put it away to save for a house or whatever you are trying to purchase. That is an appreciating asset. Appreciating assets go up in value over time. Depreciating assets go down. Cars are usually depreciating assets. As soon as you drive them off the lot, it goes down in value. So make sure you're aware of that. Yes, so get clear on what your expenses are and what your income is. Going off of this, cancel and consolidate subscriptions. I, for one, know that I end up signing up for a ton of subscriptions, especially for my business, because there's a lot of plugins, automations, accounting things, like all these things add up over time. So recently, and I talked about this in my 2024 level up video, but taking inventory and cleaning house with your finances is also important. Check your bank statements. What are you paying for that you don't really need? Or what system or software can you use to consolidate multiple actions? So instead of, for example, using Calendly, the paid version, which I've been using for years, I could probably use Google Calendar for free, and then I can get different things there to set appointments or whatnot. So just see how you can save money in these ways, because trust me, all of these little things add up. And I want you to keep track of how much money you are saving by cutting these expenses too, for something that we're going to get into shortly. There are also some really great apps that you can use for budgeting. There's You Need a Budget. I think Acorns is also great. Another one called Empower. I will leave these linked down below, but make sure you check these out because these can really seamlessly help you figure out how much money you're spending, where you can save, and also a lot of banking apps. I think I bank with Chase, and I think they have features within their app now so you can see what you are spending money on, how much you are spending monthly, all of that. So make sure you use these tools that are available. But your income should be higher than your expenses. If it is not, we have work to do. I was living in Spain a few years ago. I made a lot of YouTube videos on this, teaching English in Spain for 1,000 euros a month. And I made videos on how I budgeted. I was only making 1,000 euros a month, and sometimes occasionally teaching private English classes that would pay me, let's say, an extra $40, $50 a week. Let's be generous, $50 a week. So I was making around 1,200 euros a month. I was able to pay my rent, pay my student loans, groceries, living expenses, transportation, all of these things, cell phone bill with 1,000 euros a month. And I was able to save maybe 20 to 50 euros a month. So it's not that you're not making enough money, it's that you need to really be creative and smart with how you spend your money. At that time, I was not able to go to eat out. And if I did, it was a huge treat. It happened once a week. So I romanticized my life by going to Mercadona, which is the grocery store in Spain that I love so much, and I share in all my vlogs. You can see it over there. But I would go to Mercadona and I would go to the fruteria, which was so cheap, and I would allow myself to buy whatever I wanted and make these beautiful recipes at home and romanticize my life in that way. Get a €1 bottle of wine, sip it with my friends. We would cook together and have dinner together, and it was it was great. And no, I don't live like that now. But what I'm saying is, if you are in the situation where you need to live that way, you can still romanticize your life and love the life that you're living, even if you're having to pinch pennies or be a little bit more frugal. And just know that that $20 a month you're saving to $50 a month that you're using to pay off your debt, build your safety net, invest, whatever it is, that is going to set you up for the future. So making some sacrifices now is going to pay dividends in the future. So just keep that in mind when you're like, but I don't want to cut my lifestyle. There are ways around it. Trust me. The third thing is debt. If you are in debt, I'm so sorry. Debt is honestly my biggest, I think it might be my most irrational fear, but I don't know why I'm always scared of debt. I think it's because as a child, my mom would always tell me how horrible debt is. And it is really horrible, but a lot of people are in it, student loans, credit cards, etc. But before you can even think of investing, if you are starting to budget and have a financial glow up, minimizing your debt and getting rid of it should be your priority. So every dollar that you save by cutting these expenses should be going towards your debt, paying off at least the minimum payment, but you want to always pay more than that. I pay off my credit cards in full. I pay off all of my debt in full. I am so fortunate that I went to college and I got scholarships and financial aid. So I graduated with only $2,000 to $3,000 of debt, and I was able to pay it off. I think I actually might still be paying it off just because of the student loan forgiveness thing that was happening, but I can easily pay that off, and I'm really lucky. But if you are in debt, make sure you are making higher payments than the minimum payment so that way it can start going down. Even if it's $10 a month more, keep paying it off. And I just watched another YouTuber here, I forgot her name, but I'll write it here. She was talking about if you pay the minimum payment and then an extra $20 on top of that until that piece of debt is gone, then when you're paying off the next piece of debt, pay that amount plus $20. So you want to be compounding how much you pay to your debt so you can get rid of it as fast as you can, because the sooner you get rid of your debt, the sooner you can start taking that money and allocating it to investing, which is what I'm going to get into next. But first and foremost, you want to get rid of any debt that you have. One last thing I want to add regarding debt is it is an energetic pull on you and what you're capable of if you are carrying that around, because subconsciously it is in your mind. It is stopping you from moving forward because you may be earning more money or you may have these opportunities to go here or there, but you are always going to be tied to this thing. And I think really taking inventory and clearing house once again and cutting energetic ties is so important if you are trying to move abroad or build a business or just build your career. And I talk about this in Girl Boss Abroad, my course, how important it is to tie up loose ends physically in relationships and energetically before you become a digital nomad or take this journey. So just food for thought. Next, we're getting into investing, which I'm really excited to talk about. Little life hack that I'm going to give you guys is put your liquid cash in an APY account. So I use Robinhood for this, but they pay me 5% interest on all the cash that I hold in that account. And every month this compounds. So some banks will pay interest on whatever you have in the account. This account, APY, pays interest or compounds interest. So let's say if the interest is 5%, then I get that interest added back into the total, and then I make 5% more on the total plus the interest that was added back in. If that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, leave me a comment and I'll try to explain it better down there. But this is just basically free money in a way for holding your money in a bank account. So if a lot of your cash, the majority of it is just in a regular checkings account that doesn't give you interest, move that money over somewhere where you can at least get interest. But if you have enough money to start investing, which everyone should start investing in their retirement, 401k, and at least bonds are really safe, but at least index funds. Let's get into retirement. I personally, and this is all personal things that I do. A little disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor. These are just things that I personally do to invest my money that I've learned over the years from studying, reading, friends, family, and all of the other resources that I can get. Also school, I guess, because I did do some finance and accounting classes, but definitely invest your money. And I personally invest in a Roth IRA. So this is a retirement account and I max it out every year. I think you can max it out at $6,000. And the reason I do this is because the interest compounds over time. And this is money that I am not going to touch until I retire. So everything that I put into my Roth stays there. It is gone, basically. But it's great because the younger you start doing this, the more interest compounds over time. So I forgot the math, but I think it said something like if you put $1,000 in your Roth IRA at 21 or something, and you put like less amount of money each year until you're 60. But if you start putting money in at 35, continue putting even more, like double that amount in until you retire, you will still have more money if you started at a younger age. So start as soon as possible, try to max it out when you can, hopefully every year. Another thing that I do is my 401k, that is with my corporate job. I had a 401k with my old job, so that kind of transferred over, and I use Fidelity for my Roth IRA and my 401k. Another thing with Roth is that you can reinvest that money. So I buy stocks with that money, I buy index funds, I put it into mutual funds. So there's other ways that you can use that money to make it grow even more. And then with my 401k, you can do the same. And if your company matches your 401k, my company matches 4%. So make sure you do the max match because that's 4% that they're giving you for free if you put that towards your 401k. So I put in 4%, they put in 4%, and I get 8% there. And if you're new to investing, I don't suggest buying individual stocks or going into crypto or any of these things. I really suggest that you buy stable index funds. I personally like the Spider, SPY, QQQ. There's a couple other ones that I have some money in, but honestly, SPY is where a majority of my money is just because I know that it's going to go up over time. I can set it and forget it and not have to watch it every day because I also did trade stocks or tried to. I've had some success, but also some losses, and at the end, it kind of evens out, but you don't make significantly more than if you're putting your money in SPY unless you are very on top of it. And I'm not personally, I don't have time for that right now, and I don't really have the desire to be day trading or trading like that at the moment. In the future, we'll see, but not right now. So I love my index funds. Index funds are investment funds that follow a benchmark index, such as S&P 500 or the NASDAQ 100. When you put money into an index fund, that cash is then used to invest in all the companies that make up that particular index, which gives you a diverse portfolio instead of buying individual stocks. My next tip is to open multiple accounts. You should not have all of your money in one checking account or one savings account. This can be so dangerous for your future because you don't know how much you're actually spending, how much you're saving. You don't have things kind of categorized. And opening accounts is basically free. Like a lot of banks let you open multiple accounts for free, so make use of that. I have savings accounts, I have a checkings account, I have my business bank account because I have my own LLC, and then I have, like I said, money in Robinhood where I am gaining interest through APY, and then I have money in my Fidelity for my retirement and things like that, and then I have another brokerage account. So I have my money in a few different places, and I think it's really good to do that because then you don't see this huge number in your checking account and you're like, oh, I'm rich, I can go out and treat myself or buy this or spend that. As soon as I get paid for things, I'm very diligent about moving money around, and I sometimes even have it automated so that way money's coming out and going into my investments automatically and growing my wealth. By doing this, I'm ensuring that my wealth is growing and I'm going to make that passive income. And then also seeing a smaller number in my checking account psychologically makes me think I have less money and helps me watch what I spend better. This concept is kind of from the book Profit First by Mike Michalowski. I think that's how you say it, where he says you need to pay yourself first. And this goes with owning a business. It's so important to pay yourself first so you really understand what your expenses are versus your revenue, so you know that your business is profitable. But even if you have a regular job, pay your debt first, pay your savings first, pay yourself first before you go out and buy something for yourself or think that you can go out to eat with your friends when you probably should not be. So be sure to do this diligently every month, if not automate it, so that way you can actually grow your wealth. Some books I highly suggest reading to help with your financial literacy are Rich Dad Poor Dad. That book just helps your mindset shift in a really great way and understand how you can go from working a 9-to-5 to owning your own business or starting your own business by reinvesting that money in different ways. And then also Profit First, like I said, is an amazing book for really understanding how to have a profitable business if that is your goal. But also I think it's really applicable if you do have a regular job. And another really good book is Think and Grow Rich. That book is also amazing for money mindset. I have all these books on my Amazon storefront along with a lot of other things, so you can check them out there. The last and most important thing I want to talk about are multiple streams of income. This is so important. If you have a full-time job and you're working 9-to-5, you can still have another stream of income. And I don't want to say this in a way where it's so easy to make another stream of income or to make money online, because no, it takes work. It does take work. I'm going to be really real about that. But the sooner you start learning a skill to grow another income stream, the faster it will compound and work. I've been doing this for 8 years or so, and it took me a long time of not being profitable before I could start making profits from these things. And I now have a 9-to-5 job. I work at LTK. I absolutely love it, but I still do YouTube content creation, travel consulting, like all these different things. And it's because I started doing them so long ago that I was able to really harness these skills and grow them and learn more about how to make money online. There are so many free resources to learn how to make money online. There's courses, there's of course YouTube, there's Skillshare. And actually one of my really good friends, Michaela, you might know her on YouTube or from social media as Money with Matt. She has a beautiful YouTube channel that has tons of free ideas on how to make money online. I have videos about how to make money online as well. And she actually just released her course, which is also free, on print on demand, so you can check that out too. But there's really no excuse. I mean, maybe if you are so busy and you have a family and all these different things, but in that case, start putting money aside and investing it, like I said, in those ways, developing another stream of income and having that security. It really comes down to being empowered, being secure and confident by having multiple streams of income, because then you know if you lose your job, you at least have some sort of income, and it may not be as much as your job, but you have that coming in. I highly stress starting to learn a skill, and even if you don't have time to learn a skill, I'm sure you have a skill. For example, teaching English online is a skill. I moved to Spain to teach English. I'm a yoga instructor too. I can take that with me when I travel and teach other people. I can even try and teach virtual classes if I wanted to. But there are so many things that you can monetize and different ways to monetize skills that you already have. It's about finding your superpower and honing in on that and leveraging it in a way to earn money, because I really think at the end of the day, you should be getting paid to do what you love, because you were put on this earth for a special reason, and why not leverage that? Which is also exactly what I teach in Girl Boss Abroad. If you're interested, that has a step-by-step to everything. Yeah, I hope this was super helpful. Remember to return to this video and go step by step as the year goes on. I want to know your progress, so keep me posted in the comments down below. And if you have any questions, let me know. Give this video a thumbs up and click this video here for some ways you can earn money online. Talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.